so funny you say that. You just reminded me when we were in Vegas at his birthday party.
Yeah.
Remember, we had this birthday party for him.
Oh, my God. Chelsea threw like 7 parties that in one weekend.
For him, because it was, he had never had a proper birthday party.
Yeah,
so I
that
threw
was
him this
sweet.
big birthday weekend in Vegas, and you came. And I remember it was the first time that you had seen us together.
Yeah.
Like, and I remember being with him, and I'd look over, and you were just staring at us, like in disbelief.
I think I was like...
You were like, is this real? Almost like...
Well, because I hadn't seen you act that way with a man before.
Yeah.
Not in that way.
Well, Joe required a different level of attention.
Right, yeah.
And I was willing to, audition that out.
Right.
And try it.
But what do you think about that for other relationships?
I'm not cut out for that level of togetherness.
Doting.
Like the level of contact and that's not for me.
You gave it a try.
I did, and I really loved him.
Yeah, and you really threw yourself into that.
Totally. I was like, let me give this a whirl. Let me try this. Maybe I'm missing something.
Yeah.
Because I've always felt a little bit disconnected, not from relationships, but from the idea of finding your soulmate.
Right.
The idea of finding the one. Like, I always just find that to be so silly. There's so many men in the world, people in the world. There's so many people out there. Like, it's an adventure, and I want in on that adventure. So I always feel like, the idea of something being permanent is silly to me.
Right.
Like, this is a good period of time, and then we'll move on to the next thing.
I was wondering how long that version of you would last, because that weekend you got him like 3 ginormous cakes. And I'm like, 1 cake's enough.
Yeah, well.
You know what I mean? And like by cake 2, the next night, no one's eating the cake. They're like, we just had so much cake. And then the third night, here comes another. I mean, it was like $500 cakes. This wasn't like a Ralph's cake. I'm like, wow. Chelsea's really drank the Kool-Aid.
We also went dune buggying that weekend.
That's when I knew you were like really in that.
I arranged a dune buggying activity in Vegas. I can't impress upon the listeners how out of left field that is for me. And Joe and I were in our dune buggy on that weekend, and I, didn't know that I needed a sports bra to go dune buggying.
You definitely need
that. It's violent.
You need to,
that it's a violent, dirty
put
activity.
Those girls away during the.
And in the middle of it, he goes, you having fun? And I went, not at all. I said, this is awful. Like,
I knew you wouldn't like it. I skipped that.
It was the worst. I know. You were smart to skip it.
I was like, I'm not dune buggying in Vegas.
And he loved it. He thought that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, you gave that one a good go.
Yeah, I was proud of myself even my sister said, wow.
I was proud of you, too.
Really, thank you.
Yeah.
They said, wow, you are really, really being selfless in this relationship. And I felt like I really was meeting him where he wanted to meet me. So I was trying hard.
And you learned a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.